Hare Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna. We'll start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nastapráyeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamastoke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girip yatkripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Chaitanyameshwaram Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Metamena Tasme Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharani निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. So thank you all for joining Bhagavatam study. It's one of the wonderful activity for a human life to read Bhagavatam on regular basis. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So thank you all. So we're reading from Canto 1, Chapter 9, Text 19. 19, correct, no?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, 19, correct.
Yeah, who is going to read?
Actually, it was Varsha Mataji, but I think she's not yet joined. I will read on her behalf, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Asyanubhavam Bhagavan Veda Guhayatma Shiva Devarishi Narada Sakshat Bhagavan Kapilo Nripa. Translation. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation has to be, screen has to be moved up.
Yeah.
O King, Lord Shiva, Narada, the sage amongst the demigods, and Kapila, the incarnation of Godhead, all know very confidentially about his glories through direct contact. Purport: pure devotees of the Lord are all Buddhas or persons who know the glories of the Lord in different transcendental loving services. As the Lord has innumerable expansion of his plenary form, there are innumerable pure devotees of the Lord who are engaged in the exchange of service of different humors. Ordinarily, there are 12 great devotees of the Lord, namely Brahma, Narada, Shiva, Kumara, Kapila, Manu, Prahlada, Bhishma, Janaka, Sukadeva Goswami, by Maharaja and Yamaraja. Bhishma Deva, although one of them, has mentioned only 3 important names of the 12 who know the glories of the Lord. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, one of the great acharyas in the modern age, explains that Anubhava, or the glory of the Lord, is first appreciated by the devotee in ecstasy, manifesting the symptoms of perspiring, trembling, weeping, bodily eruptions, etc., which are further enhanced by steady understanding of the glories of the Lord. So different understandings of bhavas are exchanged between Yashoda and the Lord, binding the Lord by ropes, and in the chariot driving by the Lord in the exchange of love with Arjuna.
Bending the ropes?
No. Yeah, I'll read. Just the internet. Okay, I'm reading, continuing. Sure, such different understanding of bhavas are exchanged between Yashoda and the Lord, and in the chariot driving by the Lord in the exchange of love with Arjuna. These glories of the Lord are exhibited in his being subordinated before his devotees, and that is another feature of the glories of the Lord. Shukadeva Goswami and the Kumaras, although situated in the transcendental position, became converted by another feature of Bhava and turned into pure devotees of the Lord. Tribulations imposed upon the devotees by the Lord constitute another exchange of transcendental bhava between the Lord and the devotees. The Lord says, I put my devotee into difficulty, and thus the devotee becomes more purified in exchanging transcendental bhava with me. Placing the devotee into material trouble necessitates delivering him into the illusory material relations. The material relations are based on reciprocation of material enjoyment, which depends mainly on material resources. Therefore, when material resources are withdrawn by the Lord, the devotee is 100% attracted towards the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Thus, the Lord snatches the fallen soul from the loving service of the Lord. Thus, the Lord snatches the fallen soul from the mire of material existence. Tribulations offered by the Lord to his devotees are different from the tribulations resulting from vicious action. All these glories of the Lord are especially known to the great Mahajanas like Brahma, Shiva, Narada, Kapila, Kumara, and Bhishma, as mentioned above, and one is able to grasp it by their grace. So, here, what I understood is, Prabhuji, that Bhishma Deva is talking about that great devotees like Shiva, Narada, and all know about the glory of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But actually, among the demigods and Kapila and Incarnation and Lord Shiva, he talks about three people who know about the conscious direct contact. Also, it is told that pure devotees of the Lord are enlightened those. So they are not bewildered by the material this one energy surrounding the Lord, and they get to know the real this thing or real supreme.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Again.
Mataji, your voice is not coming. Tuti Mataji.
Yeah, my internet got disconnected, Prabhu. Huh? Okay, so what I understood is the pure devotees of the Lord are like Buddha, the enlightened souls. They know the plenary expansions of the Lord, and they know the real nature of the Supreme Personality and all the confidentiality of the Lord. And Krishna, being his so much, he is bound by the actions of his devotees that he is ready if they are in full bhava, if they're like Yashoda, he's ready to be bound by a rope or even become a charioteer for Arjuna because he considered Arjuna as a very close and intimate devotee of himself. Other than these three, there are many other devotees like Shukadeva Goswami and others and all. They were also all knowing that Prahlada, Bhishma, Janaka, and all this stuff. They also knew God's Supreme Personality, God's other expansions. But also, like on that day, you told the pure devotees sometimes are given more difficulties than the other materialistic person because God knows that these people can take the problems easily than the other people because these people are always engaged in the service of the Lord and they derive the strength from chanting the names of the Lord and all. But the other people, materialistic people, don't know the moment they get a small, like you gave an example, like in the house, in order to show the daughter in law a way, mother usually tells the daughter, okay, you should do like this, or you should not waste current or food on something. So that indirectly she doesn't want to chastise the daughter in law, who might feel that, okay, I come from some other family, so the mother-in-law keeps scolding me. So by telling to the daughter, she indirectly hints to the daughter-in-law that it has to be done. So similarly, Krishna also, he gives difficulties to his devotees to show to the non-devotees that how devotees actually handle when difficulties or tribulations come into their life. And these tribulations which Krishna gives difficulties is not a punishment for their misdeed or anything. Like for Kauravas, when Krishna came, or for Shishupala, when Krishna gave Krishna beheaded him because he, after doing 100 names, he called 100 names of Krishna in a bad way. That was a punishment given, but actually the difficulties which Krishna gives to his pure devotees are not punishment. They actually make them grow more advanced in their spiritual path, and they become more stronger in their devotion to the Lord. Like we see Prahlada, when Prahlada was given so many problems, it did not deter him from chanting the name of the Lord, or he didn't tell, oh, why should I now chant the Lord? My father is putting me into the den of lions or throwing me from the mountain. He was more and more determined. So, real devotees who are actually attached to the Lord, they can overcome this. But this is how the Krishna shows to the other world. Even a small devotee like 5 year old, when he takes my name and is under my guidance, no harm will come to him. Jaise they tell that Rake Krishna Mare Krishna Rake Kon. So by this, the pure devotees also, and the non-devotees also will get encouraged. Okay, so when Prahlada was in school, he used to tell his other friends, chant the name of Hari, chant the name of Krishna. Because then when they would have seen that Prahlada was put into so much misfortunes, they would have thought that this is difficult. But when they saw that Prahlada actually came out unharmed from all these misfortunes, then their belief or their trust in Krishna also would grow. So usually Krishna does this to prove to the world that whenever any harm comes, if they have done anything wrong, then the punishment given is a different thing. But if they have not done anything wrong, the difficulties given is to show to the other devotees that not, no harm will come, and he will always be there to protect him in case anything happens. So that was the same case which happened with Pandavas. They had to face so many difficulties, but in spite of that, Krishna was always with them. In the end, he was helping them, whether it was the disrobing of Draupadi or the Lakshagraha burning. Krishna sent through Vidura to show them the way out, and also in the final Kurukshetra war. Also, when Bhima was poisoned, he reached the Nagaloka and ultimately he was saved. And also in the case of Kurukshetra war, we see that Krishna himself guided Arjuna, because it was only Krishna's guidance which led them to victory. Otherwise, they would have been easily killed. It was also told that it was Krishna's chakra which was moving all around the Kurukshetra, killing them. And Krishna tells Arjuna also, I will be killing them, but I want you to get the name. Just that I am the doer, but I just want the whole world to know that you are the doer. Huh? So it is shown that Krishna will always help his devotees. He will not put them into such a danger that they will not come out. He will only show the way also. So this is what I understood, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. So nice. Okay. So yeah, further other few points. Prabhupada talks about Anubhava, the glory of the Lord, first appreciated by the devotees, expressing manifest symptoms. There are various symptoms of devotees expressing their the bhakti, or the real experience of the devotion service. The various experience, trembling or prospering, weeping, bodily eruptions, etc. These are the natural, but it cannot be imitated. That's why Prabhupada is saying this is should actually naturally. Many times we have Prabhupada Lilamrita, if you read Prabhupada cases also sometimes happen, but he never give any importance to that. Many times happened, he all of a sudden started tears coming from his eyes. But when the disciples asked Prabhupada what happened, he said, no, nothing happened. Because he doesn't want to, unnecessarily make show out of it. Yeah, the real experience is there. So similar example there, the difficulties going through. Haridas Thakur is another example where he was whipped, he was beaten in 22 marketplaces. But still, he was fully protected. So even after meeting 22 marketplaces, he was not feeling any pain. Instead of that, he was literally pleading in a Supreme Lord, please protect these people. Don't punish them. That was a kind of a mood in which Haridas Thakur. That finally, the soldiers of Mughal who are beating them, they were actually pleading, why don't you die? Because if we don't kill you, we will be killed by the king. So finally, Haridas Thakur said, okay, if that's the case, okay, throw me in the Ganga. So they threw him and went and told that Haridas died. But he came out. The point is that later on, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Haridas Thakur, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Haridas, "Hey Haridas, do you remember this beating in 22 marketplaces? So you didn't feel any pain." Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shows his own back. The back, lot of marks are there. All the beating Mahaprabhu took. So is the Krishna may give difficulties, but Krishna takes the difficulties also for us. Like when a child does something mistake, the parents suffer. Similarly, when we make mistake, Krishna is going through it. Krishna is feeling pain of it because he doesn't want his children to suffer. He doesn't want children to do bad things. So Srila Vishnu Thakur writes that Shiva and others knows particular action of Krishna. Those actions he chooses to reveal to them Anubhava, but not his intentions, his real form or his real powers. Even for Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, he doesn't reveal everything. So he reveals whatever required, whatever to know to them. The knower of the Rasa Shastra knows first of all Anubhavas and Sattvika Bhavas, Pralayasya, perspirations, paralysis, perspiration, hair standing. These are the various symptoms is mentioned here. But all these symptoms, it's here, Srila Vishnu Chakradhakura also mentioned that it should be natural. It cannot be imitated. In the next paragraph, he writes that seeing that Krishna is controlled more when he sees his devotees who have generated prema for him. This is the one important point. When Krishna is controlled by love, not by anything else. So here Thakura Prabhupada says that when we have a real pure love, he is fully controlled. And knower of the rasa infers that there is intense prema in siddha and sadhaka. So we are sadhakas. Our sadhana, the chanting or reading or serving prasadam or serving Vaishnavas, these are all sadhana. And the end result, sadhya, is to get Krishna prema. That is what your ultimate goal is. That when that is attained, our goal of life, our real life is successful. That's why Prabhupada says that we can control Krishna with our love. That's what exactly happened to Arjuna also. And if I especially favor someone, I gradually deprive him of his wealth. This is another point. He says, when Krishna, by doing a favor, he'll remove unwanted things. The wealth in our hand, if he thinks that this wealth is creating problem for a devotee, he'll remove it. But, we can see in the life of Srila Prabhupada, maybe we cannot say that it's become kind of trouble, but Srila Prabhupada's life also, he has gone through so many difficulties. He lost his business. Whatever employment he did, he lost that. And finally, whatever translation is done, that also sold by his own wife to, for buying a tea bag. All this happened. But the result is that Srila Prabhupada could change the situation and he established ISKCON all over the world. That is the power of a pure devotee here. So here further writes that thus the difficulties of devotees experience is not parabdha karma, since they are given by the Lord alone. For a pure devotees, that difficulty is not parabdha karma, this is not result of karma, it's given by the Lord, who wants to benefit the devotees. So Lord gives this for the benefit of the devotees so that he can teach the whole world. So there are the devotees are saying that Prabhupada proved to the whole world that we can do multi-billion business without any money. So that's what exactly Prabhupada did. Of course, it's not a business. It's an empire of Krishna consciousness. Multi-billion property. He had only $7. That's how he is done, because Krishna wanted to show to the world that as a pure devotee can achieve this. That's why Prabhupada finally writes that like Krishna allowing himself to be tied up, they explain that the sort of a fake display. So all these devotees also sometimes show this fake display just to show to the world that Krishna can do anything for his pure devotees. Hare Krishna. We'll read one more sloka. Somebody can read, please. It's been allocated.
Yes, Prabhu, allocated to this Kushi Mataji. I think she is not there. Anyone else who wants to read can
I'll take
read it. Archana
Krishna.
Mataji.
Okay.
Raja Ratna Prabhuji, read.
I'll take it.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, I'm not more conversed with this
It's okay.
Sanskrit. Yamanya se matleyam priyam nitram sutramam atro sachi dasis sachivam lotam saudar artha saradam. Prabhu, can you read it once?
Sloka, na?
My understanding.
One second. Yam
Shall I
manyate
read?
mautleyam priyam mitram suhurtatam akarosha sachivam dutam sahurdadat ata saharatam.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Translation. O king, that personality whom out of ignorance only you thought to be your material cousin, your very dear friend, well-wisher, counselor, messenger, benefactor, etc., is that very personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. Purport. Lord Sri Krishna, although acting as the cousin, brother, friend, well-wisher, counselor, messenger, benefactor, etc. of the Pandavas, was still the supreme personality of Godhead. Out of his causeless mercy and favor upon his unallied devotees, he performs all kinds of service, but that does not mean that he has changed his position as the absolute person. To think of him as an ordinary man is the grossest type of ignorance.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
here he's trying to say that Bhagavan is not an ordinary person only because of our ignorance. We feel that he's an ordinary person just because he is a cousin of Pandavas, or he's a friend, or he's a well-wisher, or he was going for a messenger. I mean, like when he was going for this war during this, he was going the messenger. Like that, if you think that he's an ordinary person, so it is only an ignorance actually. So he is we need to understand that he is a supreme personality of Godhead. Um, with our pure mind and bhakti, I mean, we have to develop and we should understand he is a supreme personality of God. Otherwise, we cannot think that he is a he is an ordinary person like human being. Here in this case, actually, even Arjuna himself was I mean, he was a very great devotee of Krishna in spite of that. During that time, he is also behaved like when they were when they were moved with things, he was considering as a friend. After seeing his Vishwarupa only, he has also understood that he is a supreme personality of God and we have done a lot of mistakes like. So like that, where it is very difficult to understand, I mean, come to that status actually. So that's what the main thing here I feel understandable.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Yeah, Bhishmadev was telling to Yudhishthira, you may think that he is your cousin, but
Yeah.
he's not your cousin.
Yeah.
He is a supreme personality Godhead. So, see, other side of it, same Bhishmadev was fighting against same supreme personality Godhead few days before. So, this is how he would like to show to the world that I'm such a great warrior. I fought against the Lord. Now I'm looking at his lotus feet. I won't leave my body looking at his lotus feet, looking at lotus mouth, I mean lotus face. So that's the supreme personality of Sri Krishna is that. So that's why Prabhupada is saying to think of him as an ordinary man is a grossest type of ignorance. So this is the one of the key mistakes generally people commit because they don't recognize Lord and they consider him as either is a kind of a a man with a little power or some magical power. That's all. They don't consider Supreme Personality Godhead. But that's the grossest ignorance, is Prabhupada saying that. So we as a practicing devotees, first and foremost, we should understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead. So Prabhupada sometimes says that even if you don't understand, it is theoretically, yes, accept it. Don't even have this little doubt. So in once, I think not America, London. So Prabhupada talks about Krishna. Somebody said, how will you say that Krishna is Supreme Personality Godhead? So Prabhupada said, okay, he is not Supreme Person. You show me who is Supreme Personality Godhead. You have any, other person? There were no answer. They were kept quiet. Okay, if you don't have answer, take it to Krishna now. When you get somebody else, come back and tell me. That's a Prabhupada said. The point that, of course, all the Shastras, Puranas talks about Krishna as Supreme Personality Godhead. So we as a practice devotees, we should simply accept it and take it forward. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti says that the verse shows Krishna's anubhavas or actions performed out of deep love. Again, he repeats the deep love. That's what we as a practice devotees also should do. Just simply develop love for Krishna. Everything else taken care. Though Krishna is a supreme Lord and displays actions indicating that he is under your control, by being your counselor, a messenger, the verse is actually a continuation of the previous verse. No one knows actions of Krishna whom you consider your cousin and friend. So that's the point. Sometime the same thing applies to our Guru Maharaj and other seniors. Sometimes because of the familiarity, we may think that they are also human. I'm also human. They are also like us. No. The great sannyasis, Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada's the other disciples, they are not ordinary people like us. They are literally incarnated, literally come here to give us, Krishna consciousness. They are not ordinary person. So considering Guru as one among us is an offense. So that's another point we need to understand. With this, I'll stop here. I'm having a little throat problem, so devotees can share your comments. Go ahead. Rajarathan Babu, want to say anything? Hare Krishna. Rajarathan Babu, want to say anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Shall I continue that? Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Shall I
Sorry, I
continue
couldn't.
that?
Prabhu. No, I think we'll stop here. You want to share any other point?
No, the same thing actually, as you said, even Krishna went to the Duryodhana for stop the war for between Pandavas and Kauravas. At that time also he has considered him as an ordinary person and he wanted to catch him and he was trying to give a lot of troubles to Krishna. Even at that time also he was under the impression he considered him as an ordinary person, like he is coming here as a messenger, like to interact with the people for this. So at that time also he himself was considered as an ordinary person. So that means it is pure ignorance. So because when those souls are all in that way, because they are all big souls actually, because we cannot say that they are an ordinary people. They themselves were coming into that such kind of things. Even Arjuna was also, after the war also, he was so proud. I played a big role in that. So after some time, when he was asked to get down from his chariot, he was not able to lift his kandiva. So that was the condition of his, because he needs the mercy of God for doing that actions. So he felt at that time. So every time, even after this all happened after he seeing his Vishwarupa. So like that, it is the thing. It is very difficult to maintain that kind of things, bhava. So we need to develop, and that is only through bhakti. That is the thing we can develop. We keep doing the bhakti from sadhana to bhava, then we can develop it.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Asha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Mataji.
My takeaway for today is Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I should simply accept and develop him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I must develop love for Krishna that will allow me to progress in my devotion to the Supreme.
Thank you, Mataji. Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. No, Prabhuji, thank you.
Lakshmi Mataji. You are there, no?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, boss. Only through Prema Bhakti we can bind Lord Krishna, Prabhuji. And if he is favoring someone means it is out of his causeless mercy, not because of our qualities. It is out of his causeless mercy. He favors us always. And then he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We should not think him as us, as an ordinary man or as equal to us. That is the very great ignorance in us. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Mariappan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Pure devotees are subjected to difficulties to enable them to improve in devotional services. And Haridas Thakur's pains were borne by Krishna, Lord Krishna. Krishna is controlled only by devotion of love. Lord Krishna removes wealth gradually. The result is to benefit the devotees. Perfect example is our Srila Prabhupada, who established devotional empire across the globe, following all painful difficulties in his life. And I must realize Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord and highly respectful. I must develop a deep love of devotion towards Lord Krishna. That much I have understood from
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Thank you. Ramesh Krishna Prabhu.
Nothing, Prabhu.
Okay.
Please
Okay.
continue.
We'll end
Hare
here.
Krishna Prabhu, actually for developing the devotion, we need to read these glories regularly.
True.
We need to spend more time on this, all those things, because when you keep reading and understanding things, naturally we develop love on Krishna. So
True.
slowly we will get the mercy of God slowly, actually. That is what
True.
I think.
Yeah. Read
Hare Krishna.
and hear it properly. Prabhupada says, read, scrutinize it,
Hearing, yeah.
hear it, and then try to apply in your life. So it's like, Shravana, Patana. So that should happen both. Anyway, so we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Okay, see you.